Hey everybody, it's Mary. Happy Fat Tuesday. I don't know how you're celebrating Fat Tuesday, but we're having hamburgers in our house tonight, so that's kind of exciting. So hey, I just wanted to reach out and just share some things that have been on my mind that maybe somebody will find helpful. I hope so anyway. So here's what's been going on in our lives. Some of you may know that we sold our house. We've been renting for a year, and we did about a 5-month search for our next home, and we found one. And we bought it. We closed escrow in January, and we've been doing some renovation. And this whole renovation process, we've been doing it before we moved into it. This whole renovation process, I decided, is sort of a metaphor for designing and building a vision for our businesses. And I just kind of wanted to share some things that we've been going through and kind of the alignment that I've been seeing in what it means to really build a business, an Herbalife business, really any business, or to pursue a passion in your life, because I think these principles will apply. So when we bought our house, the woman who lived there had lived there for 22 years, and the carpeting looked like it was 22 years old. So we knew that we were going to go in and personalize and renovate. So the first thing, before we even knew the house, I knew what kind of flooring I wanted. This is our flooring. And I knew this was the most beautiful flooring to me, and this is what I wanted in our house. And it's, the foundation, right? That's kind of an obvious sort of thing. But this flooring was a non-negotiable for me. I was going to go through the house, and everything else was going to be decided upon off of this. So the flooring is sort of like the values that you give your business, or how we run our families, or how we're going to be in our lives. Like, we assign those values to our mission, and we say, in this business, this is what I'm going to stand for. It's a non-negotiable. And we're going to build the business around those values. Makes sense, right? So in the process of getting a price on the flooring, we met with a contractor. We went to this enormous tile showroom, and they were showing me flooring that was similar to this, but it wasn't this. And I left kind of feeling like I was like somebody was trying to talk me into some flooring that I didn't really want. And so I sat with Dave, and I pulled out the picture that I had of the flooring on my phone, and I said, this is the flooring. This will always be the flooring. There's never going to be a different kind of flooring. And everything that we're going to do is going to emanate from this flooring. So I'm not going to compromise. I want it to be exactly what I want it to be. And Dave said, no problem. We're going for it. I totally get it. It's a small space, and so it's got to be right. And so in our businesses, we're going to have big businesses, and it's got to be right. So whatever your values are, whatever those things are that you're going to define your business by, they've got to be right, and you need to be unwavering. When somebody presents to you an opportunity that maybe doesn't really align with that, or a new interpretation of your core values, my hope for you is that you'll be able to stand firm and say, no, this is what it's got to be. It has to be this. So that's the first thing, values. And sometimes you have to really sit with your values for a while. It's easy to say, I'm going to behave with integrity, or this, that, the other thing. That's cool. But then go deeper than that, because what are you going to say? I'm dishonest? I'm going to be dishonest? I'm going to have a dishonest business? Probably not. So I really challenge you to think hard about the flooring in your business. So after that, we really took a look at our floor plan, and we said, okay, what does the flow of this thing look like, and what do we need to take out, and what do we need to make new? What's still usable, but we need to maybe conform it a little differently. So we ripped out all the cabinets in the kitchen and in the 2 bathrooms, and in terms of making things new, we made a wall where there was a doorway in one room, and opened the wall to make a doorway in another room. And we went into the kitchen, which is the most important room for me in the house. It's like the seat of the house, the kitchen. We raised the ceiling. We took out the cabinets, like I said, and removed a wall, and part of a wall to kind of open things up and make the flow work. But in the process of making things new and redesigning our space, we came across a few surprises, which happens in renovation. So the first surprise was that we looked at the roof or the ceiling. The way it was built, we didn't expect the framing to be quite where it was. And we were like, this was item number 2 that was kind of a non-negotiable for us. And so we said, okay, what are we going to do with this framing? We brought a framer in, and they changed out our framing and did some different things, and then they brought in this enormous piece of wood to shore things up. Thankfully, it wasn't anything structural or load-bearing. So where's the metaphor in that? When we're pursuing our vision for our business based on our values, and we sometimes open things up, and we aren't really stoked on what we find. And that's the personal development part. Sometimes when we start in our personal development, we get something that nips at our heels or convicts us in a certain way, and we're like, ooh, really? Do I really have to deal with that? And Dave and I were like, really? Do we really have to deal with the framing? And we did. So what do? We called in an expert. What do you do when you're working on something from a personal development standpoint? You call in a mentor. You call in a friend. You call an accountability partner. You call in an expert and you say, I need some help uncovering this piece because I'm building a business and I have a vision and I'm marching toward that vision. And so off you go. So that's so important. Part of the demo process, demolition day, was so much fun, but then when we got done, you may have seen my video on Facebook, there was a pile of rubble in our living room, and it was scary to me. And when you're doing personal development, you're really working on the things that need to be worked on, the things where you might have a little bit of a rub or you need to really develop, sometimes you're left with a pile of rubble, and it's intimidating. And you think, really? And I had a friend say to me in this process, you need to remove the old and the ugly to bring in the beautiful. And the only way you can do that is piece by piece. The same thing with building a business, especially this kind of business where it's about relationships and people, and we're developing ourselves, we're building people. Or with our clients, sometimes they have a pile of rubble that they need to deal with before they can start putting in the beautiful countertops and the tile and the flooring in the other rooms. You see what I'm saying? So you can't put paint over the pile of rubble. You got to get the rubble out. And not all of it is bad. So now I'm assessing and I'm looking at the furniture that we have. So we have to unload 50% of our furniture because we're downsizing and creating this masterpiece. Okay, great. Sometimes you have to move things out of your life because they no longer serve you. Sort of like the bookshelf I sold today, or the extra sectional sofa that we had, or the table that we had in the nook, or some lamps that are currently for sale. You see where I'm going? Do I have feelings of anger and bitterness over these things that I'm removing from my life? No, because they served me well. I loved them in the spaces that they were in, but they no longer fit. And so I need to remove them. And sometimes there'll be things in our life, and I wrote this sort of a small list down. I've got to find it. There's going to be habits. There's going to be beliefs. There might be people. There might be possessions. There might be roles that we play in our life that no longer serve us and that we need to remove without the angst and the anger and the blaming or the judging or any of it. We just need to say, that doesn't serve me anymore. And be grateful for when it did serve you and have gratitude over that part of your life for what it taught you. Even if it's something hard that you're releasing, you can do that too. So as we're unloading furniture, it's amazing how awesome it feels because it's like clean slate city. And it's kind of like that when you're growing this business and you come into a new understanding about something, whether it's a a new understanding about a daily method of operation, or how to deal with a certain personality type, or just a skill that you've developed, it's like, oh, I just gave myself road to run. I'm stoked. So it's like having a garage sale with your insides. It's kind of a cool thing. So these were all things that I've been thinking about. And, we've been talking a lot about in various groups and meetings about continuing to refine and build our visions for this year and set our goals for this year, for the year, and then also monthly. And in this month of February, February is a powerful month. It is always 100% of the time, 100% of my Februaries have been more powerful, substantially more powerful than January. More people impacted, more customers losing weight, more people wanting to hear about the product, more people wanting to hear about the business opportunity, because you're 6 weeks into the year and they're thinking, my formula isn't working. I'm not getting really where I want to on my wellness results or on my financial results. I need to bring in an expert. And so we have the opportunity to help somebody move their ceiling, to raise their roof. And that's a pretty cool thing. And February is a powerful month. Don't kid yourself. So I really want to encourage you to continue to refine your goals, your vision for the year, the month, the week, the day, the hour. Because in Herbalife, every day is Happy New Year, which is pretty cool. And don't forget about our swag promotion that's happening in February, because I know that people are going to get so much more. So I guess what I want to do is just encourage you. I want you to think about your flooring, and then I want you to think about countertops and paint that you're going to put on the walls, because as you build your house and you build your vision, your dog too can go wild. I don't know if you just heard my dog, but someone just rang the doorbell. Your vision, it's all going to come together and it's going to be a masterpiece. So that's what I have for you. I hope this was good. If you need anything, please let me know. I love this business and I love what we can do for people, and I care deeply for everybody's success. So onward and upward. Bye now.